Hello, this is Keauhou Fife with the Kewaunee Foundation, coming to you with another segment of Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future. And once again, coming to you from beautiful Waimea on Hawaii Island, in conjunction with some other segments that we've done on Hawaii, the art project here. And we're proud to have with us today Rodney Willis.
Hi.
Thank you, Rodney, for being with us.
Mahalo
for taking the time.
Yes.
One of the things we've had a hard time doing is getting people to break away because everyone's moving ahead with their projects.
Yes.
And so we're glad you could skip out here with us for just a little bit. I think I gave you a little background on what our objective is with our programming, and that's to motivate people to get involved and do something for your community, you know. We call ourselves one-on-one with Hawaii's future, and that's because the people that we want to emulate are those who are doing something, not just for themselves, but for the future of Hawaii and all of its people. So, and you're here, and I understand that, you know, we've got kumu and we've got students, but everybody's a student, and everybody's kind of making a commitment to move this forward. But in order to get to here, you know, there was I think it was a pretty tight selection process. So how many folks actually got chosen, I think, total students?
I believe it's 80.
80?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have 40 students.
Mm-hmm.
40 students, 40 adults. So I believe it's 80.
Yeah. So even in order to just get here is quite amazing. But to get to where you are today is what we're kind of interested in, is, you know, who are you and where did you come from, and what did you do throughout to get up to where you are today and doing what you're doing and sharing?
I'm Anakala Rodney Willis, and originally my grandfather was born in Maokona, which is right down the hillside. My father was born in Pu'ukohola, which is right down the road, the Keauhou down here, and I was born in Oahu. But my father, my grandfather were woodworkers, they're canoe builders, and mostly on wood. Mm-hmm. And I became a woodworker in 2000. But actually, I've been doing it all my life. It was always in me. Mm-hmm. But I just had to get out and show my work. And when I joined the Hanapi Foundation, the doors had opened for me. I had traveled to Canada, to Seattle, to New Zealand, to Boston, and all under the woodworking. And I decided to become a teacher, to teach the young students, the keikis and adults, about woodworking. Mm-hmm. But I'm a pahu maker, but I can do various things of canoes, and I've been working with the Tahitian in canoe building. But my love is the pahu making, the pahu drums. And
will you be doing any of those here or no?
Yes, I'll be teaching the kids. I start next week.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a student right now.
Yeah.
Trying to learn the tapa making. Mm-hmm. Trying to. It's not my field of work, but right. I for the time I've been here, I'm enjoying it because I'm a student.
Yeah.
But I'll be teaching next week. And it's the difference between being a student and a kumu. Mm-hmm. A kumu needs to show your abilities of your work. And how did I get that far is because of the people that sees my work. Mm-hmm. And because it's been in my po'o for years and years, and now I'm out there doing it, my own family don't believe I'm doing this.
Where did this come from, huh?
Well, like I said earlier, it's my father and my grandfather. Right. I always watched them because when I was young, I couldn't go around and touch anything, mm-hmm. just watch and listen. Right. But now that I'm old enough, I can do it on my own, but mm-hmm. I remember all those things they did. Mm-hmm. But they didn't do pahu drums, they didn't do ukuleles, which I do, mm-hmm. drums and ukuleles mm-hmm. and various of woodworking. But it's been in our koko for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And I'm fourth generation. Now that I don't have no aunties and uncles, I become third generation and continue the work of Hawaiian culture, work of woodworking.
All of a sudden,
palau, you know, the la'au is my calling.
Mm-hmm. And now when you look around, there's nobody got any whiter beard than you do or whiter hair, so it looks like it's you. Huh? How did I get here?
Well, you know, you grow up with it.
Yeah.
And you accept it because it's you know, life is so short.
Yeah.
So you need to do as much as you can before the time I can be gone today, tomorrow,
Yeah,
who
that's
knows,
right.
only God knows when I leave.
Yeah.
But I want to give out to the young kids and show the world. And I believe some of my works are halfway around the world. That I can vouch for it because there's people that, when before the Gulf War, came to my place and brought drums. And you know, life is so short. So I want to give to the kids and give my mana'o and share my my woodworking.
Yeah, you got to do it while you can.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of us at the point where we realize, you know, we're not going to live forever. And not only do we have to really do everything we want to do, but we're going to be kind of handing this off so the next one can pick it up. You mentioned when you were little, you watched your father and your grandfather do things. It's amazing how much you retain from when you're just watching. Yeah. When you start to do things, it kind of comes back.
Yeah, it does come back. First of all, it's the listening and watching.
Yeah.
And I watch other people. I watch myself most of all, and it just builds up day by day, and I let the work talk for me. When my work is finished, and you see the smile on people, and then it goes, "Oh wow, I didn't know you do that." I go, "Yeah, me too," but it was always in me. And again, I try to do as much as I can because you know life is so short, and we have a lot of young kids here, and I think the youngest we got here is 17 years old.
Right.
And I told them the same thing. One day you would be just like me. You'll be traveling. If you keep up the good work and your workmanship, you'll be traveling. And it's part of this OER thing about who you are, what you are, and how you can share our culture. And I believe that sharing your culture and be yourself tells the story.
We're all born with some certain skills. I think that's in us. But I think we evolve too during our lifetimes. I think we're destined to do something, but I think it gets polished up, you know. It's like you say, when you're doing something, you're your own student kind of. And when you do something and you think of a better way to do it, or a better way to get a better finished product, you kind of incorporate it, and so it's kind of improving, I think, every time you do something.
That's why I'm a student now. Being a student and art class, and it's one thing I can't do is draw, and people, you lying. I say I'm not. I cannot draw. I would approach my wood and I let the wood take me. And sometimes I can't get the carving, the depth and everything. I'll just leave it there and walk away and come back on a different angle, and I'll see the image. And even seeing the image, I don't have no guideline. I'll be just carving. And some of the woodworkers that carves with guidelines cannot believe that I'm doing this without even drawing a guideline. And even if you have a guideline, there's a dimension that you need to get in there. And it's what they call three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional,
And three-dimension is not like you can learn that overnight. It'll come, you know. And for me, I've been seeing this vision, so I believe other people said you had it in you, and you still have it in you.
Yeah, when you're saying that, I was thinking about some things that I've done, and when you do them over and over and over and over, you know what the outcome is going to be if you do something a certain way, so you do it that way, and it comes out that way. So.
I want to share this story with you folks. At Keauhou, when they had the earthquake, everything, the building got destroyed, and a lot of the artwork got destroyed. So they asked me to build a pahu drum. And at the time I did it down there was 2 years ago. And the drum is 48 inches across, 5 feet tall. The image I did on there was the mano, which is the shark. And I did a kihi, like a cape, all in the shark teeth around the thing. And 2 days before I took the drum down to Pu'ukohala, my wife told me that your grandfather was born in Maukona and your dad was born right across the street from Pu'ukohala, right across the old Hawaiian homestead.
Right.
And I didn't know that. All the time I moved to Kona in 1972, and I thought I was an outsider, not knowing that my family came from Maukona. And when I did the shark on top, the national park asked me, what's the detail on there? I said, well, according to my family and my wife, that there's a Pelikani bear and there's a heiau, it's called Halimano, which is the house of the shark in the water. And so, because my hamako is the shark, that's why I did it. And it relates to the area. And when the national park saw that, they were surprised that I knew about that heiau in the water. So they asked me, how did you know that? I said, well, to read them out to my family and other older people, the kupunas, and they said there's a heiau there in Pelikani Bay, named after the shark, the house of the shark, Halimano. So I decided to do that. But if you want to see it, you can go down there and see it in the building over there, and that's what you'll see.
I haven't been down there since, well, since before the earthquake, I think. I heard there was quite a bit of destruction. But what reminds me, brings to mind, is down below in the water down there. A lot of times you see a lot of manu down there.
Yes.
And that's their home ground, so
Yes.
yeah, it's very appropriate. Well, the pahu, yeah, I didn't see anything here, so that's going to be next week. Yeah. And so all of the materials are being supplied, right?
Yes.
So what kind of, what are you going to use for the pahu?
The origin of making a pahu drum is out of the neo, which is a coconut.
Right.
The only trouble about the coconut, it's not Hawaiian. Coconut is, Hawaiians didn't have coconut, it actually floated here. But anything that floats on the shoreline, the Hawaiians will make use of it. So coconut was one of them. And then I got to visit the Bishop Museum and went into the archive.
Right.
And got to see all the pahus in there. And I took note actually I kind of remember all these. And it was, most of them was made out of neo. So something told me that there must be something about the neo. And what the other ones was koa, ulu, not ulu, yeah, ulu, varieties of wood, but the neo, it was the one. And so when I looked in the drum to see how they collide inside, and it goes like a sparrow. And when I looked inside, and there's a bottom like what they call a ipo. So sound, I guess the sound goes like this and bounces off and comes back up. So that was my thought. That must be the sound barrier underneath the ipo. And it was sooner or later I found it out, because I never got a pahu back and said, yeah, the pahu sounds, you know, poor, but I was always maikai. So I've been doing it all this time. I got a late start. Was 2000, actually 97 I started, and I have a late start, but still not too late.
Yeah. Did you just stumble across an appropriate stump to deal with, or did you just decide you're going to go make a pahu and look for the material? Sometimes you stumble onto something and you say, oh, I think I'll start working on this thing.
Well, it was Uncle George Naopi that inspired me, because I saw him playing the pahu drum, and it just took my breath away. So I said, wow, I'm going to make it. And I did make Uncle George Naopi a pahu. And the one that I made for him, it was the royal palm. And Kalakaua had a drum, was made out of royal palm, which sits in the Bishop Museum. And so I came across the royal palm, which came from Kuhala. And I made for Uncle George Naopi. And so when I gave it to him, because he's the one that anointed me to be actually like become a kumu as a pahu maker. And we did it at the Kinkameme Hotel, and he came to do the protocol, and Ibalani Kalima, and she was there to do the protocol,
Right.
and I became a kumo paho maker. And Uncle George, so when I gave him the paho, and he says, carry it over there because it's too heavy. I carried it with 2 fingers and I went like that, and he said, what kind of needle is that? And I said, royal palm. And he says, oh my God. And he carried under his arm, walked away.
So it was nice and light,
It's
but had
like,
a good cunning,
yeah,
a good
it's
sound.
Carney,
Huh?
that thing Carney, and it's light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes kind of trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they split, and then you got to tie the drum head on. What did you use for drum head?
Originally, it's supposed to be the mano,
Yeah.
the ili,
Right.
the ili mano, but I used the pipi, and the pipi is not. It's very close to the mano, but it's there.
Yeah,
it's available.
it's available.
And because the mano is my hamakua,
Right.
I won't go and get it.
Yeah.
If it comes in a good way, fine.
Yeah,
I'll
then you use it. Yeah.
But as far as going on eBay and looking for it, I won't do that. And as far as the needle, you know, I'm against cutting trees down. But if it comes in a good way,
Yeah.
I'll
use it.
you
Yeah.
know. So the tree trimmers always bring it to my house, especially the one that I made down in Puukohola. It actually came from the Hines family at Kona Sunset in
Right.
Kona. And the people that bought the house, because they couldn't see the ocean, they cut the coconut tree down. And I couldn't believe that they cut this 100-year-old tree.
Huge, had to be big.
Yeah, and so I took it.
Yeah.
You know.
So what size, probably going to vary some, but for the project here next week, what size
I'm
kind of paho
making
they
what they
think?
call kilo. A kilo is anything between 9 to 10 inches tall.
Okay.
And the base would be like 8 inches. And that's a kilo. And the one lower than that would be a punio.
Punio, yeah.
Yeah, kilo. And paho. And tempo paho.
Yeah. Well, that'll be quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Will the students be developing their own designs?
Yes. There'll be simple designs like the top of beaters. They can copy that.
Right.
Something that has a story behind, you know.
Right.
Be creative, but Hawaiians always do something where there's a story on it.
Right.
You know, you can do your genealogy on there, but if you don't have anything, you can just watch and put things together, but it needs to flow together. And something to be with the music, you know, with the paho images or your hamakua if you can. But I just tell a student, you know, use your imagination, but something to flow with the paho. Because paho is very sacred. You know, in the old days, it was used for love, war, calling the village together, hula. Every culture has a drum. And same thing, they use it for war, love, peace, church, you know, varieties of things.
Well, I'm imagining during the workshop, so they come up with a design. Then you're working in a circle, you're working around the trunk. So you kind of got to lay things out. So you get your whole design in, and it has to be kind of equal. And so there's quite a bit of layout involved too. Huh?
Well, you know, doing that size is you cannot put too much details on there.
Yeah.
You know, you're space limited.
Right.
And if you want to do a sculpture, a small little honu would be fine. Something small so you have room to work. And then when you tie in your lashing, the ili on, you probably won't even see your design because it's
the lashing is so solid, so small.
It,
Right.
But if you're just doing you know, a top of beater sign, you know, up and down, it's represent the niho or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, because if you do a paho, tempo paho, you have
a lot to work with.
Oh yeah, there's a
with.
lot of room on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you lash on the head, you're going to be using, like I imagine, with the time frame allowable. What are you going to use, like Senate, or what kind of lashing you're going to use?
We're gonna use regular cordage,
Mm-hmm.
nylon cordage,
Mm-hmm.
because if I use the Senate will cost more than the drum.
Yeah.
And we don't have people that's
Right.
making it anymore. I
Right.
tried, and it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy. That's why it's, before the old days, it was a women's job.
Right.
Rolling it on your leg,
Yeah.
you lose all your hair.
Yeah.
But before that, you got to go and strip it, and
Yeah.
it's only comes 6 inches long.
So,
you know.
so you got to clean
And then
it up
you got to
and
clean
yeah.
all the meat on it,
Mhm.
and roll it and lay it out, just to make a. I
Mhm.
tried.
It's a long job.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cordage is something in itself. You know, I mean, when you look at the different elements go into assembling something like with a canoe, I mean, the different types and the different strengths and tightness. There's a whole science to the, you know, to the cordage in itself.
Well, you know, if we're talking about cordage, we're talking like the Olana.
Yeah.
You know, Olana is one of the strongest cordage in the world.
Yeah.
And even that is hard to get.
Right.
And I saw one of them on a power drum at the Fishing Museum, which was Olana.
Mm-hmm.
And as the years went by, I'm just guessing how old a power drum, probably a little over 100 years old, maybe 200 years old. But the cordage is
Still there.
It's still there.
Yeah, the first time I realized what I was looking at when I saw it, it was a canoe project, and they had done a model, and they did Olona lashings, cordage for the model, but it was beautiful. You know, the fibers are just beautiful. It looks like nylon. It looks kind of like nylon. It's amazing. When you start stringing that head on, that's there are a couple of different ways of doing that too. I guess.
You know what they have what they call a two-way tie.
Right.
And up when you're lashing on the top of the eel,
Mm-hmm.
and they have what they call a four-way tie,
Mhm.
which is kind of confusing, but it's the beauty is there. And I always tell my students, you know, I'll talk about beauty on power. It's not the beauty on the power; it's what comes out of the power.
The beauty is.
That's right.
Mhm.
But when you buy the power and you have the conny sound that comes on it, then you got a power.
Yeah.
But if you got this beautiful carbon, you buy the thing and it doesn't buy it,
Yeah.
it doesn't talk back,
Yeah.
then you just got a power.
That's it. You have a piece of art to sit in
Yeah.
a corner and don't try to play it.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's true.
yeah.
So I mean, you got a couple things going. You have a potential work of art, but the basic purpose is the sound. So if you don't have the sound, all the other stuff is kind of
It's like an ukulele.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't have a sound, then it's a figurine.
yeah.
Or it can go in a gallery.
I'll tell you, that's exactly it. I mean, so many people have started making ukuleles in the past, 10, 15, 20 years. And I think it's a great hobby for a lot. And a lot of them, boy, it's just beautiful craftsmanship. And then you play it and it's just like thunk, you know.
Yeah.
So there's, what's your priority? You know, you want a beautiful thing to put on the shelf or you want something to play. So it's, and if you can combine the two, that's the ultimate, I guess.
Then you got a craftsman. Yeah.
Yeah, then you got the real artistry. You know, we interviewed Hiko Hanapi earlier, and we had a hard time getting him away because he is a student also, and he's got to finish his project in order to get on and move to the next thing. So it's interesting. It's like everybody's kind of driven down there, and they're all working against time, cramming into 4 weeks. It's a major immersion kind of an approach. I mean, I know, well, you start at 8 o'clock in the morning, take a break for supper, and then people down here until 10 o'clock last night in the studio doing the studio time. So this is an immersion thing. I bet if you compare these 4 weeks, it's probably equal to a, full school year.
Well, I told the foundation, I said, there is no way any of these Hamanas is going to finish the job in 1 week.
Yeah,
I said, for me, I can do maybe 2, 3 in 1 week,
right.
provided I use the chainsaw.
Yeah.
But if you want them to do it with the chisel and the mallet,
Yeah.
there is no way.
Yeah.
And surprising, because the Hawaiians had all the time in the world to make a drum, they can lie around on the beach and go diving and come back, continue on.
Mhm.
But for us, we got 4 weeks.
Yeah,
I got 1 week to
Yeah.
teach 40 students.
Mhm.
And I tried to help them out. I was going to do the kalai inside, take the skin off.
Rough it out.
Rough it out, and all you do is do the carving.
Yeah.
But this program, you need to start from scratch.
And go all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through. And I know there won't be anyone over there. If they do, then I want him to be on my team.
Yeah. Well, we're going to follow up on that because that's... It's interesting. You point it out. Now let's see what happens. Maybe somebody's going to amaze you, and then you're going to have to say, "Hey, come with me." You know. I thank you so much for being with us.
Mahalo.
I appreciate it very much.
Mahalo.
Wish you good luck, and I know next week is going to be great for you. Everybody out there watching, I'm Keauhou Fife with the Kewaunee Foundation, one-on-one with Hawaii's future. Join us again. We're affiliated with Free Hawaii Broadcasting Network. Ahui ho.